There were two ways to realize you were unhappy with your life. I wasn't sure what the first one was, because I was currently too wrapped up in the second, dying. Now, I don't want to be unduly harsh. Dying is good for a lot of things one may want. It clears debts, for one. For another, it's an excellent trump card in conversations. Oh, what's that? Cousin Sam, who always upstages me at family gatherings, just announced she's engaged? Well, guess what? I just died, so she can suck it. Yeah, that's right. Ain't nobody talking about nothing else at this year's family reunion. Or at least that's the type of thing you could say if you were one of those rare breeds of the dead who could talk. Limited to my knowledge, mostly to zombies broken English, the Transylvanian accent of vampires, Patrick Swayze in that one movie, and anyone whose wake gets visited by a ventriloquist with a particularly dark sense of humor. Of course, this does all bring us back around to perhaps the one thing death was not very good for. That being, you guessed it, living. And that was something that most people, most of the time, to my knowledge anyway, wanted to do. How did I know I was dead? Excellent question. It was mostly the fact that there was a dead body directly below me, dressed identical to myself, and whose body my feet were seemingly going through. How did I know the body was dead? Gosh, you ask a lot of questions, don't you? But to answer, it was because it wasn't moving, was lying face down in a pool of what was either blood or some kind of really gross, thick Kool Aid, and the fact that there was a teeny, dark circle right in the back of the neck. Yep, that's a bullet hole. Didn't know what a bullet hole looked like until about 5 seconds ago, but that was definitely what that was. Just one of those things, I guess. Like porn. You know it when you see it. So then, I was dead. And that was kind of a bummer. But I also was still here, not being whisked off to some great beyond by a Party City Halloween yard ornament or a Robert Redford look-alike, and the jury was out on whether or not that lack of whiskage was or would at any point become a bummer of its own. So it seemed I was a ghost. Kinda cool, that part. Maybe. Possibly. But then there was the next burning question. Who killed me? I had the how, that being the bullet hole, but clues were sparse on the when, where, why, and who, which struck me as odd. We've all had that thing happen where you walk into a room and forget why, but dying just seemed like it would be a little more memorable than going to swap out the batteries in the TV remote or trying to find your glasses case. Huh. So not only was I dead and a ghost, I was a ghost with amnesia. Wonderful. Kind of less cool, that part. Maybe. No, definitely. Yeah, maybe I could retrace my steps, figure out how I died. Maybe if I did that, my memories would come back to me and I'd get to move on to well, to wherever ghosts move on to. But then there was the question of if I even wanted to go to the place where ghosts go when they're done being ghosts. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was boring or terrifying. Maybe being a ghost was awesome. I looked around. It didn't feel very awesome at the moment, though that might have had everything to do with the corpse in the center of the room. You'd be surprised how much of a damper that sort of thing puts on the mood. Or, I guess, maybe you wouldn't. There were probably seldom few circumstances where a corpse in the center of a room would be cause for a light and cheery mood. It was just in their nature. Something killed them, and then they, in turn, killed not only the vibe, but also any sense of feng shui the room may have had going for it until a person had rudely gone and died in it.